Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the All Kings podcast. I am your host, Corbin, with my co-host, Tate. And today, we have on Totally Boned NFTs from HBAR. This is Seth and Totally Dan.
What's up?
Hey guys,
doing?
Very good.
Well,
very good. Tired, but good.
Yeah. With a name like Totally Dan, it makes me wonder, are you actually Dan? Because usually people just go by Dan, but you're totally Dan.
I'm totally Dan, all right. Depends on the day of the week. Probably depends on the day of the week. I feel totally Dan today. I'm 3 flat whites in, so I'm well caffeinated. I've been doing well today, so yeah.
Fresh haircut.
I'm all there. Yeah.
Yeah, fresh haircut.
Yeah. Hey, look, I went and got a trim just for this, so
I feel honored.
You know, that's how. Yeah, but $45. Yeah.
He's the poster child.
Yeah.
Going to the good barber. Cool.
So let's start things off with this. How'd you guys meet?
Good question.
We're brothers. He's my brother-in-law.
Oh wow!
Oh,
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was cool.
Family bonding.
Yeah, I couldn't convince my sister-in-law to pick someone else, so they got married and we became brothers in crime. But yeah, really, really good one to have actually. Yeah, I'm pleased with the marriage so far. What we're doing.
We'll just see how we get on, and we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
It's a nice common interest to fall upon, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Small world, for sure.
Yeah.
So did you guys both Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, I just moved to Hamilton from Auckland, which is about an hour away, so we're sort of in each other's pockets every other day at the coffee shop, or I'm borrowing a set of tools or something, or we're having dinner there, so I see this dude every day, so...
You got to return some of my shit, man. You've got half of my tools at your place still, so I'm coming around. He lives about 3 kilometers away. I'm walking there, man. I'm bringing a bag. I'm getting my stuff back.
Make sure he didn't lose the 10 mils either.
Yeah.
Cool. So, gentlemen, tell us a little bit about Totally Boned and the really dope artwork you guys have been doing.
Oh, thanks, man. I can take this down if you like. We started creating art and having chats maybe 5 or 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago. And about a year ago, we got into the whole HBAR scene, and I had no idea what I was doing with crypto. I started buying. I didn't even know what it was, but my brother had spent like $40K on Solana. I was like, what is that? So I started having a look at crypto, and people were saying, get in now, it's going to explode. And I was like, oh, well, this is pretty cool. And then it didn't explode. And then I found HBAR, and I felt quite safe. So after that, we found HBAR NFTs, and I bought my first NFT. And Dan was like, what on earth are you doing? You're throwing your money away. But I managed to pick up a dead pixel like real cheap, and then it hit like 20,000 floor price. And he's like, oh, man, like, oh, my gosh. So it's
now
pretty cool.
Who's the one that's totally boned?
I was like, maybe they're all like this. Nah. And I said to Dan, like, hey, we've been artists for a long time. I've been painting for 15 years. And I said, I think we can create something pretty special and focus a lot on art. We're not the crazy backdoor developers some other people are, but we're super passionate and super proud of our art. And so we just started constructing and speaking to a lot of people, and I've got friends that are tattoo artists and stuff about different aspects of the art. And so it all just sort of culminating into this really cool, unique art style and idea. And Dan's just been going berserk lately on all of our Supreme stuff. So he's adding a special touch to everything. So yeah, it's been a fun journey, the artistic development of Totally Boned, and we left a little bit of space at the end for some crazy, insane stuff. So we're building out some pretty wacky, zany stuff. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Dan's probably got a different version of that story, but that's my vision.
It's it's similar-ish, and so just acknowledging Seth's sort of lifelong mahi or work in the artistic space, and I've been an artist as well, part-time. My day job is I am a human-centered designer, so I sort of participate in service design, some industrial design, and I was really interested in the human element sitting around these NFTs and their projects. We just said, hey, there's an opportunity for our own artistic expression in the space. We think we've got something to add. We think we could make it really fun. Let's start exploring this. And so we started having, a number of meetings. We were sitting down saying, okay, what would this look like? How would this project be different potentially than others? What's the value that we could create for people? So we're always coming back to people. So we've got these three parts that we always talk about when we come together to talk about the future. It's art, it's people, and it's forward thinking. And that's really been the driver. We want people to pick up a totally boned NFT just because, they look at it and it gives them a smile. It makes them happy. Some of those designs are pretty wild. Some of them are more boned than others. Supremely Boned takes it up a few levels. Just engaging with people and listening intently and sort of having them play a part in where this whole project goes. So.
Strong aspect on the community aspect there as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dead Pixels.
It's more or less community driven.
Yeah.
People are everything. When you put people at the heart of your efforts and your decisions, I think it's very hard to fail when you genuinely put people first. And that's something that comes through in the service design discipline. You're very well placed when you can genuinely listen to people and engage with them authentically and understand what it is that they need, what they're looking for. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are, this is money that they've earned at their jobs and things like that. And I always think, like, if someone else was running this, like, and I was giving my money and getting art in return, like, how would I expect these people to conduct themselves and, respect me and my time and my hard work, my hard mahi. So, just trying to put people first. That's the top priority for us. So, that's all Totally Boned is. It's just about people.
Yeah.
Continuing to be transparent, making sure that the holder feels safe with their investment, because longevity is a big thing with just any NFT project. You can always feel a slow rug coming, just slowly and surely, if the creators aren't just driven with the project and passionate towards it.
100%. Yep.
I always say to Dan, like, I feel like I can't take a day off from Discord because I feel like people will just look at me and go, "Oh, where's he gone? He's not here. Like, what's happening?"
The FOMO begin.
Yeah. How dare you take a day off? This is your first warning, Seth. Never.
I'm totally boned, man. I'm actually so tired.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. It's like I take one day off Discord, and the whole world decides to blow up, and I miss tons and tons of news. While meanwhile, the last month has been nothing. Like nothing. Just talking with people.
No, it's been something. It's been building.
Well,
behind the scenes,
yes,
I know.
Where it was a tumultuous week for our mint. It was just like, oh my gosh, what else is going to happen like this week that's going to send crypto to like into a crater? Oh my gosh, it was like the worst week. I was like, Dan, like, we've got a decent community here. Like, I think we can pull through.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fire sale if you think about it for the holders. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys or not. Did you guys change the floor price with the market crash?
No, we didn't change it.
That's
there
good.
Wasn't really, yeah. It wasn't like, and I don't feel like it was enough of a huge enough crash to justify a major. Because we've got like plans for the finances and stuff to use them, and so if we'd changed them, it would have thrown our plans off quite a lot. So we had to stick with that.
Well, that's good.
That is good. How did you guys like using hash tools?
they're good dudes.
As your minting platform.
Yeah, they're super responsive and super like helpful in terms of like any questions, and they're able to like, we had like a varied amounts of like minting access. So we had people that were able to do like 5 and 3, and they were able to like tailor it to that. So that was super helpful. I quite like those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been the general sentiment from the community. I found anytime somebody talks about them, unless they're just angry that it went down because 400 people are all trying to access it at once. It's like, guys, they can't really do anything about that. Like,
yeah,
it's like an NFT DOS attack. It's like of course it's going to crash. It's an overwhelm. Yeah,
I was so sure I was going to get like a dead pixel when they did the Turtle Moon thing, and I was so lightning fast. I can't even tell you how lightning fast. I had it all set up. I cleared all of my like Photoshop stuff, so my whole computer was running perfectly, and even then, didn't get one. That is like an exclusive.
Yeah, that's how I felt on like Hangry's Mint through Turtle Moon at 4:44 a.m. for us, and it's just like we're all sitting there that early in the morning, and you press the button and you just hope.
yeah.
And refresh.
Yeah,
which makes the problem worse. But
am I going back to bed like upset?
Oh man, it's tough.
That's all good.
It's so tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you guys the collection the collection that you guys dropped, it's sold out, correct?
Yeah. It's
so what's next?
Half sold out. Yeah, this mint. Yeah,
partially.
The mint sold out.
I didn't think you dropped the full collection. I just thought it was a partial amount dropped initially.
Yeah. There's Dan, you can explain that, like the reason for like the smaller mints, if you like. I've been talking too much.
Yeah. I think one of the things we wanted to make sure we could do was effectively engage with the community, and so we thought we need to do that in a sustainable way. Dropping the entire collection, 1,111 pieces, would create quite a sudden surge in interest and demands, engagement, things like that. And we said we want to do our holders, justice so that we can invest back in them, we can engage and we can learn more about what attracts them to our community, and that we would do that sort of in a 4-drop fashion for collection 1. It also means, and we had this idea, we said, if we can engage with the people who are attracted to our project, wouldn't it be cool if we could reflect some of those people and some of the future traits that we introduce into the collection? And so we've been taking inspiration from some of our community, some of our more colourful community members, and creating traits and features in our artwork that's very reflective of them. So we're going to end up with a collection that, is scattered with, little nods to the people that have become involved and joined the Totally Boned family. So a few reasons go build slow and build sustainably has been a thing that we wanted to do. We didn't want to, do anything too fast, too quickly. We wanted to make sure we could manage and deliver. And then also an opportunity, to reflect some of the people in our artwork. So we've got some fun stuff coming up. Even looking at some of the content Seth was sending me earlier today, I know who you've created some of those things about. So that's a few of the reasons why we wanted to do this first collection in that way.
I think also just tagging along, doing the mints in like a smaller amount and selling them out and doing it in that fashion kind of helps our community to trust us a little bit more. So it allows us to prove ourselves over and over again that we're still here. We're not just going to mint the whole thing out and say, see you later, let's go to the Bahamas with, Sam. So
he's an Argentina, bro.
Yeah, we're not just shooting off to Queenstown and saying, see you later, you guys enjoy sitting on a big fat stack of Totally Boned NFTs without any sort of promise of anything else. But we just want to prove ourselves over and over again.
That's brutal.
It makes sense. I love that you already have the storyline played out. That's great.
Oh, sand Bowman fried, yeah, something like that. We'll make one. We'll get him.
Please make him a one of one. That would be hilarious. You'd add his little black fro and everything. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, people will want to burn that one.
You've got some Bankman vibes going on, man. You got some.
Hey, look, man.
Vibes.
I didn't do it.
Facial reconstructions of the skulls.
So yeah, somebody's gonna get deep faked here. I feel like
a classic.
So one thing that's kind of struck my mind and train of thought is, so obviously you guys are based out of New Zealand. Crypto regulations are completely different there compared to the US. Have you guys been has New Zealand been pretty transparent with legislation and regulations through this whole entire NFT process and stuff? Have you do you know what you have to do to keep this tax friendly and just legal, more or less?
NFTs kind of aren't really, well, they are, but they aren't a thing here in the States.
That's
I suppose
good.
it's just because we've only got 5 million people here. It's not really at the forefront of the conversations that happen in New Zealand. It's kind of this sort of backdoor dark alley vibes where everyone just hangs out and chills NFTs. There's only a few of us here, so especially on Terra. There's not. We haven't had pretty much any issues like that at all. The only issue I've had is getting my bank to actually having a chat to them saying, hey, can you guys approve my transactions and stuff to crypto.com
coming in and coming out. I
don't even know what it is.
I think anything very new that technology, particularly, just because that's an easy one and it evolves so quickly that government laws and regulations tend to lag behind the adoption of new sort of technologies and things. So they're probably usually in a bit of a catch-up mode. But we're mindful of things like the various tax obligations that we might be required to meet, and we're making sure that we can do that if and when. But it's slowly catching up, and I think because it's starting to come into the mainstream, it's it'll become much more clear. New Zealand government's not overly prohibitive, around a lot of these things compared to other places. We feel pretty lucky and comfortable that we're in a good space where we are in New Zealand to take advantage of what we have available to us in this new space, which is really cool.
That's amazing.
It's quite a free country, so we don't have.
It's very healthy.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of restrictions around a lot of things, so it's cool.
That is really, really good.
Environment, though, man. Go Hedera. Yeah.
It's carbon negative.
Green for life.
And then
That's
it looks
awesome.
that is awesome. Yeah, I was just going through your white paper again here, and I was seeing about these giveaways.
Yeah,
sounds pretty cool. What you guys got? Any good ones in the treasury?
Yeah, for sure. I actually need to go and spruce up a few things and add a few things into that. I've been meant to do a bit of a V2, but this time around we're doing lots of physical prints. We've got skateboards and stuff coming, some other cool stuff. So Dan's been sort of heading up the skateboards and print side of things. I sort of just coordinate Discord events and things like that and let people know about them. So he could probably tell you more about where they come from and how they're getting distributed and things like that, and to our VIPs and just general holders and other HBAR.
Yeah, I think we've got allocated this time around. We've got two custom decks and 2 archival prints for holders, and one apiece each of those for our VIPs. We kind of like to, we give away HBAR for various engagements and competitions and things, but we love physical stuff. And so we wanted to do archival quality prints. So we've been getting them done on, 308 GSM, Hahnemuller photo rag, like archival quality, like cotton paper, and just the best quality inks and everything that we can get our hands on to get these pixel prints made. I mean, the first time I approached the local sort of fine art print shop that we're using, I'm like, I'm not sure I'm not sure what you'll think of this, but we want the very best you've got for these pixel prints. But he was quite stoked, and it wasn't the first time he had done work for NFT projects, which was really nice, encouraging. But we got the first batch of prints after drop one, and in person, like holding these things, oh my God, they're incredible. So we're so happy with the outcome, and they cost us about. I won't convert it to HBAR at the moment. My math brain is taking a holiday this afternoon, but they're about 150 New Zealand dollars, between 150 to 200 New Zealand dollars to get printed, produced, and shipped. So they're not a cheap sort of reward or perk, but it's so amazing when some of our holders, they've turned up and they're putting pictures on Twitter and Discord going, it's turned up, this thing's awesome, and they've got it on their wall. One of our holders he's a teacher. He took his, to show his students and stuff in class, and he's been using some of the blank, totally bone sort of the real plain edition to do sort of engagements with his students, like for Day of the Dead. They were doing sort of colouring competitions, design contests.
That's awesome.
That sort of stuff's really cool to see. And we've got a couple of custom deck designs coming along, and we're going to be getting decks sort of made and shipped directly. I think we're going to utilise Board Pusher. I think they're in Colorado, and they do just a wicked job. So we know that we're going to get really good quality, and it's another way to experience Totally Boned in real life. It can be used on the wall, or people can put hardware on the decks and use it as their whip to work. Go for a skate. It's sort of in fitting with the Totally Boned whole brand, right?
Yeah.
From me bail on the way to work.
Screw up the elbows on the way to work. That was one of the things I noticed when I first saw your art. I was like, wow, this is like if Thrasher were to make an NFT collection. It's really cool.
Yeah. There's definitely some 90s sort of skate brands nostalgia and inspiration there for us. But yeah, cool you mentioned that. Yeah, definitely Thrasher style. Just the look on some of those pieces. There was not a gunshot. There was more like.
I was just going to say, with each mint, I think we're just trying to ramp things up a little bit. Obviously, more NFTs in the third mint, and obviously the fourth one that will eventually come. But that means more money to spend on people. We're splitting it 50% will go to us and then 50% to the treasury. So we wanted to have enough to actually put back in there so we could support the amount of people that were coming. So we're building it up slowly so we can actually figure out how many people will be there at the final mint and how much we can spend and make it sustainable. So these giveaways will increase in value and the amount of them. So we're really excited to be able to reward people and hang out and have a good time and
do some rumbles.
Yeah, do some rumbles, that's for sure.
Drive engagement.
Yeah,
that's a big factor because you constantly want to see a community engage with what you're trying to provide to them.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I really like how you're spacing out the drops of the whole entire collection because that keeps people on their toes for what's next. Because I feel like each individual drop will be, like you guys said, unique in its own way and have its own sort of value that will be provided to its holders.
Yeah, it becomes a real event, and we plan each one out in quite a lot of detail, including the all the engagement activities and events that follow. So we're constantly building, we're constantly learning, we're constantly listening, and like we mentioned earlier, making sure we always put our community, our people at the front of our thinking, absolutely not ourselves. And interesting, Seth mentions the 50% split to the Treasury. We've made it really clear that people can, ask for, a breakdown visibility of how all the funds are used and dispersed at any time. So we've got a budget. We run a budget. I don't run a budget for my household. I just freestyle that boy. It doesn't work out too well. But look, we've got a budget. We stick to it. If there's any changes, we make those decisions together. And everything's tracked in a spreadsheet. So we've got an expense tracker. Everything gets logged. So everything's fully visible, transparent all the time to people, so they know that we're not wasting, what we've been given.
Yep.
I think also a cool thing about doing them in 4 drops is, like, for example, if we dropped all 1,111 maybe 2 months ago, and all the mint money that we raised to do some cool stuff, that just got slashed to ribbons with this, like, cut in the price of crypto, we might not have been able to make good on some of those promises that we made. So it also safeguards us from that, because we're able to limit people's expectations, but also, like, limit people's expectations and make sure we can actually hit those targets, because that's not what we want to do, is fall short of what we've said. So
yeah, and then also too, because you're doing this over a longer interval instead of just one drop, if you have more ideas about traits or stuff that, like, you want to add to them later on, you can. I don't know how that would affect the rarity calculations and, like, the overall, like, 1,111, but
most of them are, like, pretty one-to-one. Like, there's, like, stuff that, like, with our burn, for example, like, we haven't told people too much about, like, say in the first 400 that have come available now, there's stuff that people have earmarked and told me that they're going to burn. I'm like, there's only 2 of those, like, but I'm not going to tell you that. Like, I want you to find out if you don't put any more in the next drop. I just want it to be this. Like, maybe I might sweep one off the floor because I just want to keep this, like, real cool one set aside. Not that they're not all cool, but, like, people are going to hold a few of them and be like, I just don't know if the next, like, drop will have it. So yeah, it keeps people on their toes and unsure about what we're doing. So I like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. Like, we, at the outset, we said, rarities are great, but they can also sort of, I think it was, Seth, what did you had a particular NFT and you loved it. You minted it. You're like, this is great. I love the look of it. This feels like it fits me really well. I just enjoy it. And then you found out that it was a really, really low rarity ranking. And it took some of it robbed you of some of your enjoyment of this thing. You're like, this is a low rarity. What? You still loved it, right? You don't say, I don't like my kids anymore and I want to sell it, or, But we said we want every NFT to be, we want them all to be unique, right? We want them all to be rare. And sure, we have a high incidence of some particular traits across lots of our artwork, but we've also made, even with our first 2 drops and 400 NFTs, we've made an insanely large amount of layers and options, right? So we do have a whole lot of traits in our artwork to date that you would fit in the less than 2%, incidence, which I'd say is pretty rare. We have, at least a handful already that are probably easily in the less than 1%. And we want to create lots of, unique things that you see right across the entire collection. Like, I've never seen that before. Holy cow, where did that come from? And so that's kind of been part of the reason why. But what we will do, because we realise that people want to know, what's rare, that's never going to go away. And so we're working on a couple of things. We're working on what we call faction maps for some of the factions that we've been introducing into the collection and will continue to do. But we're also going to start profiling the less than 2% traits and, what they are, the serial numbers of the NFTs that have already been minted that, have those things. So we're going to start. Sorry, I didn't mean to do a rude hand gesture. I was putting my glasses up. Completely unintentional. Realised when I did it. My apologies. we want people to understand that, you know, some of these traits are rare enough, and in cases they've taken a lot of effort. Like, we push pixels around for hours. I think it's probably the bane of Seth's life that I go back and forth with him around, do you think we should, you know, do that there or there? And
I don't even want to tell you how many times we had to like contact Hash Tools and get them to be like, oh, actually, we're just gonna hold on. We need the art to just slightly change. Like, oh my gosh,
just one second. Yeah,
You got totally boned, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
You got supremely boned. That's for sure.
Well, I apologize. Where were we?
I love it. It's just like it's actually found its way into all of my language now. Like, everything's
Oh, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to start using it too in the spaces and stuff.
Dan
it's
just flipped me off, and it just hurt my feelings. So my computer just broke.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah. Look, totally boned has become it's entered the vocab. It's such a versatile phrase. You can use it in so many different ways, and that was part of the appeal of naming it totally boned. You know, of course, there's more savoury. Or what do you call it? Safe for work uses, and then there's a whole raft of like really weird, wonderful ways that our community have like introduced us to using the phrase. It's been a lot of fun,
for sure. Yeah,
and it'll never leave us ever. Totally boned is going to be. I'm going to be an old man, hopefully, and I'll be telling kids about totally boned on the HBAR network. They'll be like the Vietnam stories that of our generation. You know, they'll think this guy's got some amazing stories. You know, this is.
Do you remember the totally boned mint of 22? Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
You did say in the white paper you will never give up on this project.
No way. Nah.
Never.
I mean, that's how I feel about the All Kings as well. I don't plan on ever giving up on this bad boy.
Yeah.
That's the thing, eh? It's probably not worth calling a project then, because that sort of infers that it has an end. But yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it is a brand, and it's something we're really passionate about, and you know, it's just going to go on and go. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I ever stepped a step wrong, Dan would just drive the 3Ks down my house and beat my ass. So I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Or you tell your wife to do it for you.
Yeah. No, he doesn't want that. You'll cry. We've had a few creative and administrative differences to date, and we normally, you know, have a bit of a dust up, and then we're hugging again 2 minutes later. So I think that's the test of a good relationship. You know, we can have a disagreement, and then Seth will normally go away and cry. I need to give him a couple of minutes to cry.
He uses too much punctuation. He's too punctual, and I'm like, can you stop using full stops? It's actually like I don't know if you're angry at me or not. Like, I can't tell.
I've had to read all the research that exists around how Gen Zers find punctuation aggressive in text messages. You're just going, "Are you angry at me?" I'm like, "What? I'm using punctuation. This is how I was taught to write at school." And yes. So communication, and because, you know, we're bros in law, you know, we get on really well, and we can have disagreements and get through them and come out the other side with a really constructive resolution, rather than it being a damaging thing to what we're trying to do. So I think that's really important. And yeah.
I think most of the problems just stem from me getting too excited and saying stuff I shouldn't, and then he's like, "Hold on, reel it back. Just hold on." And I'm like, "Sorry, man. I didn't mean to."
Would you guys say that that's been the biggest roadblock out of the project? Just been communication, or would it be something else?
Nah. I probably call him twice a day. It's probably
that's
too
good.
much. No, we love each other. They're little. It's every like once a month. He might be like, "Hey man, what's going on with that?" And I go, "Oh, it's all right."
Communication's really good, actually. So we physically see each other at least once a day on the morning coffee run usually, and we usually leave the cafe like blasting horns at each other like we're having a road rage incident, and everyone's, you know, looking around concerned. We talk a lot. Seth doesn't ring me too much. That's fine. It's actually good. We have good open lines of communication, and I actually think that's a real strength of what we're doing. We're always talking, always working things through. Look, we have a scheduled weekly meeting about this. It's usually at my place. It usually involves either cider or bourbon or craft beer, and we end up usually getting distracted by the shorts that are playing on the Netflix sort of home screen thing, and then we come back to the purpose of the meeting. But look, we utilise tools like Mural, so we use a digital whiteboard, and we calendarize everything and plan everything out in advance, and we use that at our meetings. So, shock and horror and NFT project, that's keeping budgets and spreadsheets, tracking expenses, planning things out at least 6 to 12 months ahead. Probably 3 months in detail, but definitely longer sighted for some key sort of dates and things, 6 to 12 months. So we're trying to be disciplined in what we do and apply good practices that you would see used in business and design, things like that anyway. So,
well, Corbin, Totally Boned is totally structured.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artwork's totally boned, but everything else is stitched up. Yeah, pretty good. I think it's not a pat on the back. It's we're just trying to do things as best we can.
Right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really good to hear because.
I was just saying, we're trying to like lead people somewhere, and if we can't like plan in advance, like even we wouldn't even know what we're doing. So we need to have these meetings and make sure like we're clear about where we're going, and so it's super important to write this stuff down. And yeah, Dan's a passionate admin, so it's good. It's good for the project. It's
important that people know that type of information too, and for somebody named Totally Dan, and in caps on the white paper it says, "We will not abandon this project."
No,
we appreciate your transparency.
Yeah.
Sure.
What am I? I'm described as a mediocre investor. Probably pretty good. Seth showed me my little bio that he wrote about me, and I'm like, that's harsh. That's but fair, I think. I've never been great with my own money, but you've got to make the whole thing fun. You've got to be able to take a few hits and make fun of yourselves along the way. It's part of it, I think.
Try to inject a lot of ourselves into it. So, yeah, I think people see that come through, like with a lot of it. And especially in this interview, people will see our face and go, that makes sense.
Yeah.
all the foreigner jokes, I get it now. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, it's the panic seller. He literally is.
Worse than Monkey.
What's that?
Worse than Monkey of Creamies.
Oh.
Paper hands it. Just get out. Nope. I want it. Get out.
I said to him, like, because we're going on this trip, right? I said to him 2 weeks ago, I think I might liquidate some now. And he's like, oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm pretty sure I should. And then 1 week later, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, just get it out of there, man. And then it goes straight back to the upside.
Yeah. Can you liquidate some HBAR for me? Because I'm the only one that's verified, right? With
I'm not a real person on Binance's books, man.
Everything gets hung up in the whatever the processing area. So the transfer from Hashpack to Binance took about 5 hours. I thought I'd lost Seth's money.
Wow.
That was scary.
Over there with a pitchfork.
But they resumed trading and all was well. And you've got you didn't lose anything, which was good.
Yes.
But
it's good.
So the median exchange for New Zealand is typically Binance used?
Any and all. I started out utilizing Binance from the start. Do you have access to Binance in the US or coins?
We have Binance, we have Coinbase, KuCoin.
We have Binance US. It's a cut down version of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you guys have FTX?
Yeah, no, yeah.
We used to
I
have
still put
FTX.
money in it daily.
Along with Voyager and BlockFi.
You know, I'm really just trying to help Sam get out of his debt now. So I just give him my money every day.
Oh man.
Very
Should have
cool.
taken out a massive credit card and went all in, bro. You would have hit it back in 2 years. You're all good. All good,
Hey, man,
man.
he's got to put fuel in the Corolla somehow.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I like started on crypto.com and then I realized I couldn't withdraw anything to like New Zealand, so I had all this money stuck on crypto.com and I'm like, how do I spend it? I can't even take it off.
That sucks.
Yeah, Binance has been good. It's pretty seamless. You authorize a withdrawal when it's there in 2 seconds, and
or
it's
5 hours.
It's been really easy. Yeah, no, not the 5 hours. There was some technical difficulties that they were having, but otherwise, yeah, really good. Good user experience, awesome user interface available on the app and stuff. So switching between light if you just want the basics. Through to the full featured app, you can do just about, anything you need to on the app. But yeah, it's been a good experience on Binance. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Simplicity is really key. I mean, with just crypto adoption overall, you need to simplify things for the standard user, for it to be transparent with their knowledge.
And make sure that they're not spending their customers' money
off an exchange to buy real stuff. Like we actually need to be able to be like, we can take this money off and go and buy prints.
What's this 28-digit letter phrase that I have to copy and paste just to send money?
That's the great thing about HBAR is like that's the only wallet address I know by heart.
Yeah.
So it just makes it so much easier. And even the larger exchanges, because a lot of them, they were pretty early with it. So theirs is still going to be a 6-digit, super easy to learn. And you just have to know the memo that you need to set to your account.
That's part of it, eh? Introducing new people to crypto and NFTs, and we've got a great story. Like I mentioned, Seth and I normally go to the same cafe every morning for coffee. And the barista there is a guy called Keith, and he's a latte art master.
Shout out Keith.
And shout out Keith. He's cool, man. And he'll take a whole minute, and he's done totally boned NFT like artwork in the top of our coffee. So we get our coffees turning up at the table with skulls on the top. But this guy's really cool, and we've been talking to him about what we're doing, and he's really interested. And his job tonight, before we go back in tomorrow morning, we've given him the details to set up a Hashpack wallet. This is his first sort of step into crypto. And we said, set up your wallet. Tomorrow morning, we're giving you your first NFT. I had a couple of totally boned NFTs in my wallet. I showed him, I said, pick one, pick what you want. He's picked one. And so this is his way of, beginning his learning journey about crypto, about NFTs. And, it seems it's a small thing for us to do, but, it could be something that actually changes his life longer term. I think he's sick of making us coffees and putting up with our shit every morning. So they might be due for a career change. We love you, Keith. Yeah.
Keith is joining the Total Bones team 2023.
Yes.
He'd be fantastic.
He's definitely stitched me up a few times, but he's a good dude.
That's good.
Yeah. Full time just to caffeinate you guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He's single-handedly keeping us afloat at the moment, so thanks, Keith.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, Tate, do you have any other questions for Totally Boned?
No, not really. I just wanted to see their closing thoughts, to be honest, and just their vision towards the future of the project, really, to close things off.
Dan, do you want to take on the vision of the project? You're our fearless leader. Why don't you take a crack at it?
Yeah. I'll start, and you can correct me if I misspoke. We've always wanted Totally Bones to be about a brand. We wanted to create a brand. It starts with an art project, but we want it to evolve. We have some ideas that we're currently exploring and prototyping that we think fit the Totally Boned brand. but we want our community to be a part of that too. We want them to be involved in some of the decision making, hear their creative thoughts, and when we do progress, in future avenues of work, we want them to be a part of it somehow. We're not making any commitments yet, but these are the people that have trusted us and invested in us, and we want to be able to give back to them in some way. So we've got a couple of exciting possibilities on the boil, and depending on how they progress, we'll then opt to share that thinking and those possibilities with our community. So I'm not sure we should say much more than that, but it's definitely in real life opportunities, and we're talking to the right people that have the experience and expertise in some of these different areas, and can help us to realise some of these opportunities potentially. So, yeah, not totally stoned. That's
totally stoked
on that, man.
Stoked. Yeah, we don't have that legislation passed in New Zealand yet. So some of our Canadian friends will have to wait for the collab. Totally stoned.
Nice.
Yeah, we're excited, man. We're excited, and this is a life-changing thing for us. That's the way we see it, and we're gonna take it, every place that we can to make this successful.
Yeah, I would say that the thing that excites me about the future is we have these 3 collections, and our first collection and the way we're rolling it out allows us to bring people into our world, and then with the next collection after that allows us to raise money so we can make good on promises we've made already. So it's about community obviously, but it allows us to do things and to take it places with real funds that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do if we just started giving all of the money away like we are now. So it's real. We're intentionally using funds in a way to bring people in, but then also take them somewhere else. So looking to take this offline and create some real value. Like Dan said, can't really talk too much about what that is yet. Otherwise people will start holding us to account for that. So stay tuned. But yeah,
very smart.
It's very smart.
And just believe in the founders. That's all.
Yeah, just trust us, man. We're good people.
Exactly. You are. I mean, from everything that you guys have came off the seam, just by this one discussion that we've had together, seems like you guys are great people.
Yeah, all joking aside, yes. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. I just wanted to share my concern that I've heard them playing Mariah Carey's Christmas in the supermarket today already. It's too soon. It's like mid-November.
It's too early.
No, they caught her out of the freezer and they thawed her out too early. They keep bringing her out earlier and earlier every year.
Dude, she makes $2 million every year at Christmas off at royalties. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
That's
killing it, man. We're all laughing at her. She's like,
"What are you just talking about?" That's utility.
Yeah. We've got a Grove set here and get his angel voice singing Christmas songs, I think. The Totally Bones Christmas album. I mean,
we could sing it like Creed does, man. We could probably get away with that.
Oh my gosh.
We get Scott Staff as a guest feature on it.
Yeah, man. If people want it, we'll give it to them. So
That's amazing. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Thank you, Dan.
Cool.
Thank you, Seth, for everything. We look forward to your future, and it's been a totally epic podcast.
Yeah, thanks you guys.
For having us, man.
Love your work. Anytime.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you next episode. Peace.